Good morning, children. Today we will start with our chapter number 14, India Location, Geological Structure and Physiography, Part 2. Now, first of all, the meaning of location. Now, what is location? It is a particular place or position. That is, when we talk where is India located, means in the world or on the earth, where is the position of India? That we have already discussed in the previous chapter. Now, what is the meaning of geological structure? Geology is related to the study of Earth's physical structure and substances. And the third is the physiography. It is we can say a part of geography that studies the physical patterns and process of the earth. Now, in your textbook, a definition is given. The landform which is irregular and has some undulated on the surface of the earth is called physiography. You will ask, what is the meaning of undulation? Now, we can say it is the ups and downs on the surface of the earth. And lastly, we will say what is the meaning of physiography. Now, it includes the plains, the plateaus, the mountains, the hills, the coastal areas, islands, etc. When scientists try to categorize the regions based on their physical characteristics, we get the development of physiographic divisions. A physiographic region has a distinct type of landscape, the rock types and the evolutionary history. Now, here we can see the map of India showing the different physical features of India. Okay, first of all, now we will study the relief features of India. You should understand the meaning of relief features. Now, relief features are the mountain ranges, okay, the hills, the plateaus, the rivers, the lakes, islands, deltas, the deserts, the floodplains, rivers, valleys and the land areas. All these geographical features are spread over India. The geography of India is constituted by these relief features. India has not only social and cultural diversity, but even geographical diversity is seen in India. Now, India can be divided into the following physiographic regions. These landforms have been formed in different ways at different time periods. They are constantly being modified and reshaped by the internal and external forces. Now, the first is the northern mountain regions. You can see over here the blue line showing the northern mountain regions. The second is the Great Northern Plains. Here you can see the white and it is written over here, the Indo-Gangetic Plain. Okay, that are the Great Northern Plains. The third is the Peninsular Plateau. In the blue, they have written down the Deccan Plateau, wherein the Malwa Plateau and the Chota Nagpur Plateaus, all these are considered as a part of Peninsular Plateau. Then the coastal plains. The west coast plains and the east coast plains, means the plain areas touching the seas and the oceans, that are considered as the coastal plains. And the last one are the archipelagos. Archipelagos are we can say the Andaman and Nicobar Islands and the Lakshadweeps. All these will be considered as archipelagos. Here also in this map also they have clearly shown the northern mountain ranges, the Deccan Plateau, the coastal areas. Okay, this is the plain forms, the northern plain forms. Now we will first move to the northern mountain regions. Here you can see the arc shape. That area is considered as the northern mountain regions. It is the Himalayas. Himalayas form the northern mountain region of India. Here again in this map they have shown, you can clearly see the figure. Okay. They are the highest mountain regions in the world. They are spread over 2400 kilometers in the east-west direction, the Himalayan mountains. They extend from Paman North in the north you can see over here. Here is the Paman North, okay, in the northern area, okay, in the north to the Purvanchal in the east, here till here in the east where there is Bhutan and Myanmar, all the Himalayan mountains are being spread. Now Himalayan bisects India from the rest of Asia. From here they bisects India. Bisect means they divide India, okay. It segregates the Tibetan plateau from the Indian subcontinent. Here is the Tibetan plateau. They separate it, the Himalayan mountains separate it. It has an arc shape, okay, arc shape like a C we can say. Its width is nearly 240 to 320 kilometers. Width-wise, they are spread in 240 to 320 kilometers. It is a complex of many mountain ranges. Starting from Afghanistan and moving towards east, it extends up to Myanmar. From Afghanistan it starts and extends up to Myanmar. Okay. Then it covers India, Nepal and Bhutan. Okay, they are spread in India, Nepal and Bhutan. Himalayas can be divided into two divisions. The northern Himalayan region, here is the northern Himalayan region and the eastern Himalayan region. Here is just a picture of the Himalayas being covered up with the snow. Now the Himalayan ranges. The northern Himalayan regions. Now there are three mountain ranges parallel to each other. Now the first one is the Greater Himalayas. Okay, they are towards the northmost, we can say, or they are also called as Himadri mountains. Okay, then the second one are the Lesser Himalayas, the Middle Himalayas, okay, or the Himachal we can say. And these ranges lies towards the north or Shivalik range. And the last one is the Shivalik range, that is the southernmost range we can say. These Shivalik range are also called as Outer Himalayas. Now here you can see with the blue colors. The first one is the Greater Himalayas. Then towards the south of Greater Himalayas, मतलब उनके नीचे की ओर are the Lesser Himalayas, the Himachal we say, or the Central Himalayas. And the third category, you can see over here, the third one are the Shivalik range or the Outer Himalayas we say. Okay, here also they have shown in the map of India. Okay. Now, first is the Himadri or the Greater Himalayas. It is the highest mountain range where there are more than 40 peaks, which exceed the height of nearly 6,000 to 7,000 meters. Now, the world's highest peak, the Mount Everest, okay, nearly with 8848 meters, okay, is a part of Greater Himalayas. It is on a Nepal-China border. You can see over here Mount Everest. It is on the Nepal and China border. You can see over here the red part. Okay. And it is also known as Sagarmancha in Tibet. Okay. Here they have shown the Mount Everest over here. You can see where I have pointed out. Okay. These are the images of the Himalayan ranges. The peak of we can say the Great Himalayas they have shown. Okay, these are the peaks. The view of the Greater Himalayas. Again a picture of Mount Everest. You can see the beauty over here. Okay, it is 8848 meters and it is in Nepal and it is considered as the world's highest peak. Now second one, another famous peak is the K2, or we say it as the Godwin Austen, okay, with a height of 8611 meters, or we can say 28250 feet. Okay, and it is a part of it means it is a part of the Greater Northern Himalayas we can say, or the Himadri ranges. Okay, and this K2 is also, we can say, India's highest peak. Okay, इंडिया में सबसे बड़ा है K2. I'll show you where it is. Here is K2. You can see over here the K2 ranges. It is in the Kashmir Karakoram range and it is a part of India. Okay, you can see over here, you can point it out. Okay, again they have given the details. K2, it is the second highest peak in the world and the first highest peak in the Indian Union, belongs to this mountain ranges. Now the other, we can say, the peaks located here are the Kanchenjunga. You can see it is in Sikkim and it is the second highest peak in India with 8598 meters. Okay, then in your textbook it is given the Makhalu range is there of 8481 meters, the Dhavalgiri it is 8198 meters, the Annapurna that is 8070 meters. Now some high mountain passes over here, okay, like Nathula, Shipkila, okay, all these are there. Okay, the passes we can see. You can see the picture of the Shipkila I have taken. Okay, it is the way being located in these mountain ranges. Now Mansarovar Lake, a sacred holy lake which is in China, is also located in these ranges. Okay, now these ranges contain several sources. Okay, source of Ganga and Yamuna. The core part of this range is made up of granite. Okay, clear with this. Now northern mountain ranges or the Himadri mountains. Now we will move to the second part. The second is the Himachal or the Lesser Himalayas. Here you can see the second range, the Lesser Himalayas. Point number 2 it is given. Now the ranges are mainly composed of highly compressed and altered rocks. The altitude varies from 3000 to 4500 meters. Here you can see the picture of the Lesser Himalayas. Okay, and the average width is nearly 50 kilometers. The Pir Panjal range forms the longest and the most important range. You can see the longitude. Here are the Middle Himalayas, that is nearly 4500 meters. The Dhauladhar and the Mahabharat range are also the prominent ranges over here. This range consists of famous valleys of Kashmir, Kangra and Kullu Valley in Himachal Pradesh. The region is, we can say, well known for its hill stations. Hill stations such as Dalhousie, Dharamshala, Darjeeling are a part of this Lesser Himalayas. Then holy places such as Gangotri, Yamunotri, Badrinath, Kedarnath are also situated here. Okay, you can see the figures of these. Now we will move to the third range. The third is the Shivalik range. Okay, that is towards the southmost. You can see all the pictures of Shivalik range. It is the Shivalik range, or we can say the southern Himalayas, and its average height is nearly 900 meters to 1200 meters. Okay, and they lies between the Lesser Himalayas and the Indo-Gangetic plains. These ranges are extended till the far eastern part of India. They are about 10 to 15 kilometers wide. They are composed of unconsolidated sediments brought by rivers from the Himalayan ranges located in the further north. These valleys are covered with thick gravel and alluvium. Okay, locally these valleys are known as Dun, that is, we can say the Dehradun or the Patli Dun. Okay, these third part you can see over here, these are the Shivalik ranges. Now we will come to the second part of it, the Eastern Himalayas. First we have studied the Northern Himalayas, okay, towards the northwest. Now we will study about the Eastern Himalayas. Now these Eastern Himalayas extend from eastern Nepal, okay, from here, from Nepal across the northeast India, okay, all this northeast India, then Bhutan, it covers Bhutan, the Tibet region, okay, then some regions of China and the northern Myanmar. Okay, till here they extend to. These ranges have lesser height and so famous as hills instead of calling them mountains. Okay, they have got very less height, so normally we call them hills. Now the eastern extension of the Himalayan mountains along the border of Myanmar is also known as Purvanchal or the Eastern Hills. These hills mostly composed of strong sandstones which are sedimentary rocks and covered with dense forest. It consists of the Garo, Khasi, Jaintia, Lushai, Patkai hills. Now Patkai hills are situated in Arunachal Pradesh, Naga hills in Nagaland and Lushkai or Mizo hills in Mizoram. These all hills are located near the eastern border and have a continuation in Arakan Yoma range in Myanmar. Okay. Here there is heavy rainfall and so dense forest can be seen over here. Flora and fauna have flourished a lot over here. But we can say the infrastructure have not much developed in these areas. Okay, because of the heavy rain. Okay, so I have covered nearly the first topic of this chapter, the Himalayan ranges or the northern mountain ranges. It's a very big chapter. Nearly 4 parts are still remaining, 4 to 5 parts. So we'll continue that in the next video. Okay, go through the pages better. Thank you.